Alright, let's get right into it. So when it comes down to Erron Black's acid and his bullets, they are extremely important in 52 pickup. Very important in 52 pickup. So let's just break down first his bullets and why they're very important. If I unload on my opponent, let's say every bullet lands, right? It's going to be 17%. 17% and I have a crushing blow. That's great. But if I decide to just use them wisely, land them one by one, as you can see, it's a shit ton of damage right there. Damn near 50%. More than 40 if you start landing them individually and being smart with them. So what I'm trying to tell you is you need to really be smart with your bullets. One thing that they changed with Erron Black is that once you start shooting your opponent and you reload, he can't continue shooting. Back then, that was not the case. Back then, when you would shoot, his rifle will go away. Just like that. It will go away and you would have to pull the rifle out and do it again. But there was, I don't want to say it was a bug or an exploit, that if you hold it up back then and you start shooting, that it will continue shooting. Right? But now, he kind of got a really nice little update where I can just shoot you, reload, and continue shooting, which is fucking awesome if you ask me. So now every time you shoot your opponent, right, you need to really make them feel like it's a fucking guessing game. Every time you shoot your opponent, you have two things you're going to be doing with Erron Black a shit ton. All right, let's just be real. That and that, what they both have in common is that they go across the screen. Now that they're going across the fucking screen, this move doesn't have that much hit advantage. It's like 19. I think it's 19. Yes, it's 19. This one's like 30 something. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's like 31. Every time I hit you with the overhead, that's scary. That is very fucking scary because your opponent doesn't know what the fuck you're gonna do. He really doesn't know what you're gonna do. You have the hit. You have like such an advantage over your opponent. You have the drop on your opponent. Is what I'm trying to tell you. Every time I land the overhead, I can go into my stance. And that's very terrifying. The reason why it's terrifying is because your opponent decides to forward roll, I can hit him with a bullet, and then whatever, they start wasting their bars, I start suppressing you and shit like that. But here's the thing. Once I do the overhead, I can start hitting you with bullets, reload, and start hitting you with bullets. Here's the thing. Every time you hit your opponent with a bullet, or like 2 or 3, try to at least get one back. At least one back. So if I'm going to shoot you, I want to at least get either 1 or 2 back and then whatever shoot or whatever, right? At least 1. I want it to the point where if I'm going to leave the round, I want to have at least 4 bullets. At least 4 bullets before the fucking round ends. Because if it's the first round and you're down to 1 or 2 bullets, you're kind of fucking yourself over because your opponent knows what you're going to do. But here's another thing that you can do with the stance. If I land the overhead, I can go into my unofficial bullets, is what I like to call them. My unofficial bullets. So you get this, boom, and then you shoot them, go a little bit forward, and then you go into either this right here, or this, or you can even go into to your scud shot. So you can do 1, 2, step a little bit forward, and then scud shot. Unofficial bullets, right there. The reason why that's important, not only that, but you can do 1, 2, step a little bit forward, and then drop kick, or 1, 2, and then you freaking take that out, and then you go into your slide, and you just make it a complete mix-up, or 1, 2, go into that, or whatever, right? This is extremely important just to make your opponent be on his toes. Not only that, but it's like, okay, my opponent, boom, oh, he's gonna go in for his overhead. Instead, I'm reloading bullets, just like that, and I'm ready to fucking go. So every time, 1, 2, reload 1 bullet, shoot 1, and then if it lands, I'll reload 2 bullets, and then I'm ready to go. Try to get something back, or try to get something out of being in the rifle stance. So instead of this and always trying to go in for that crushing blow, which you should be, it actually makes it easier for you to do your crushing blow. Because like now you condition your opponent, oh, I'm going to go into my rifle stance, and I'm going to get suppressed with bullets, and you have to work your way to me. You have to work your way to me. What a lot of people like to do once they get hit with this is they like to forward roll because they think I'm going to do it, and then it whiffs, and then they get a punish on me, right? But if you go into your rifle stance, The freaking timing for it could be kind of rough, but it's very possible. Is that you do this. It's a punish right there. That's a fucking punish right there, and it's completely safe. You just have to practice it in practice mode. Like, that's just one of the things for the timing for it. You just have to practice the timing for it. So every time they wake up or they decide a forward roll, you suppress them with bullets, and once you clip them with it, you can start reloading your bullets or get ready to fucking throw an overhead or walk up and grab them. That's what I like to do after you decide a forward roll and I hit you with this. I like to walk up and grab because if he decides to wake up with armor, then he kind of fucked himself because he's gonna be without armor, and all I need to do is sweep you. And once you start waking up with like nothing, Erron Black is scary. If you have no defensive bars, it's kind of scary against Erron Black because he has so much fucking mix-up opportunities on you. So that's just one thing to look out for. Or shit, even just doing this and then walking up and then going in for a grab is always fucking good, just to throw your opponent off. So there's that. The bullets are extremely important for this string right here, this string, this move, this, even I like to do this a ton, and I get 2 bullets back and I start suppressing you. That's like, instead of doing this all the time, which you should be doing, like, you know, if your opponent doesn't have any bars, what I like to do if my opponent does have bars is I just like to go into this and then start shooting them, and then they decide to break out, I'll just cancel out of the rifle stance, or I'll start shooting them, whatever the case may be. So there's that. And then you have the acid. So here's the thing about the acid. You can't get greedy with it, and you gotta know when to use it. So off of his grab, you don't have that much hit advantage. You just don't. You really don't. Like, only 19 if they decide to forward roll. I could possibly get clipped. So every time you throw your opponent across the screen, you're gonna want to step back and then pick where you want to throw the acid. Here's the thing. If I throw it to him, the startup is 17 and the recovery is 15, so that's cool. That's pretty solid, whatever, right? But there is recovery. You can get punished by freaking Liu Kang. Another thing is throwing it below your feet. Thing about that is there's more recovery, but you're actually like setting your opponent up. One is this: if I throw it to you, your opponent's gonna jump. Everyone jumps over it, and I get a free freaking drop kick. That is just one thing that I learned. They either stay back in that little corner that they are, or they start walking on it and they take the chip and they try walking me down. There's that. Or I throw it to my feet, and it's like, and it just throws people like, why would he throw it below his fucking feet? It's like, hey, come and get me, motherfucker. You want to teleport, you're gonna lose some damage or whatever, and then you throw it on the floor and you go into scud shot, and then do I really want to come to you, whatever? And then even that right there, if he decides to jump and he gets hit with anything, like, he's gonna have to walk his way back and start losing freaking chip. So it's just kind of a mind game. It's like, shit, do I wanna risk it jumping over this freaking acid when you throw it to them? Or why am I gonna follow you when there's acid down there? And then here's the thing: if you get like grabbed into, even like right here, right? 16% just for that right there. But let's say if you were actually having to flow like this right here. Let's say if that was to happen, 21% for a fucking grab. Jesus fucking Christ. You know, it's a complete, it's a risk. It's an absolute risk. So that's when you should be, like, the moments you should be using the acid, you should be doing stuff like this. I absolutely think you should definitely be doing stuff like that. You start doing stuff like this, and then chipping, and just chipping them their life away. Saw that? That's a punish right there, and just push them the fuck all the way back. Even this right here. Let's say I grab you. There's that, or even this setup right here. Or sorry, Look at that right there.
Too darn easy.
Pretty solid. And then if you just want to play it completely safe, start shooting your opponent. I would recommend going for a low shot first. Do that shit or whatever, and you could actually punish them into doing that, but just the timing for it is very tricky. So yeah, know when to use the acid, and if you're gonna throw the acid, take a step back and then do it. Because sometimes for some characters, you know, they have shit that could just, you know, go to you. Take a step back, create more distance, and then throw it, just to make them try to cover more ground. Because the whole point of the acid, when you're at full screen, is to keep them away from you. It's just the thing is like, oh man, you know, boom, I'm reloading, and you know, just basically keep your opponent away from you. And there's other times where, you know, you want to grab your opponent in the acid or do a string when they're in the acid so they can lose additional damage or whatever, right? So there's that. And yeah, strings that I like to do the acid with is this. That's always really good, even for like a jump. Or even anti-airs, boom, just Shao Kahn decides to jump. And then I'll throw the acid for whatever reason. There's that. Even doing something like this, or shit, even this right here, whatever, right? You could do that, but I don't know. I wouldn't really recommend doing that. Main strings I would recommend doing it with is this. This is pretty solid. I really like doing that. And then even if I hit you with this shit right here, I'm throwing acid because this has pretty solid hit advantage if your opponent decides to like not do anything about it. So look at the hit advantage I have. I have 38, which is pretty solid. I'll take it and I'll throw acid. So doing acid after this is really good. Doing acid and stepping back and then doing it is pretty good. This, of course. And then, why not that? Or even this right here. Doing that, or... fuck it, why not? So, you know, just explore with it and you should be fine. So, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Holla, you holla back. Check you bastards later. Deuces.